Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's Thursday, and it's time to do a little bit of coloring. I think it's a good stress reliever and just a way to kind of zone out. So, I have I did a video earlier today about a care package I received from Miss Southern Belle, and one of the items that she included in that was this Animal Kingdom color by number coloring book. So it's really cool. I just wanted to show you it a little bit. And I'm going to color some tonight. But look at how awesome this is. These are all the different pictures that are contained in it. And the really nice, and I think there's actually some more here on the back. But one of the coolest things about it is it's paint by number. So, I'm a very basic colorer. And I really like to learn to do some shading and things like that. I think this will be awesome because here's all the colors. And when you look at one of the pictures, I mean, some of them are incredibly intricate. It's has all the numbers here that correlate with the various colors. So I bet you this is going to look incredible once I use this key code. And I'm probably going to use my colored pencils just because those are the ones that I have the most of. But I'm super excited about this. I'm really looking forward to giving it a try. However, it's going to require some concentration on my part. So probably not going to start this tonight because this would be something that would take a very long time to do. But another night, I'm going to try this one. So tonight, I'm just going to work on one of my mandalas. And I also received, I'm just going to do a basic one because I was curious to try these new gel pens that I received from Miss Southern Belle as well. So I saw that she does coloring too, and she's a really good artist in general. I mean, not just, coloring, but she paints and does all kinds of really nice artwork. So when she colored a picture, that thing was beautiful. So I don't know that I'll ever become super talented in coloring, but like I said, it's a stress reliever. So, and maybe we'll have some people drop in tonight. We'll see. But I'm just gonna be here. I got some music playing in the background, and these pens are really smooth. Now I have tried a number. I'm not putting my little. Did I show you this before? This is my salt crystal, and it goes through a variety of different colors. So we'll put that in the shot here too. But like I said, I'm a basic colorer, so I usually use just these Crayola colored pencils that I have. I have these twistables that are really great, which I've used these before. They're just look like that, and the end twists out. So, and then of course I also have these markers, which I thought they were going to bleed through, but actually I used them last week and they worked really well. So yeah, these pens are very nice. Thank you, Miss Southern Belle, for sending me these. So it was really a surprise to receive that care package. She sent me all kinds of really awesome things, including a mukbang tray table. Oh, Miss Southern Belle is here in the comments. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the comments yet. We got Life with Ron here. Hey, buddy. How you doing? And Miss Southern Belle. Great to see you both. Yeah, Ron, if you feel like coloring tonight, I'd love to have you come join me. Miss Southern Belle, I'd love for you to come join me, but it sounds like you said in the chat here you're I think you just said you were getting ready to go take a shower. So if you're not and you'd like to join me, come on up. Let me know and I'll send you the link. We're just a no drama zone here. That's what I like. That's what I like to do. Because there are a lot of nice people here on YouTube, and so many of them I've been fortunate enough to get to know. And I don't know. I just think, why do you need to be involved in discord and drama? Isn't life full of that enough in your regular life? If you work, there's always something going on. I say I fight with people for a living all day long. I don't want to do that in the online realm. So sometimes you just need to relax. And I picked this just because it's simple. And you can kind of just zone out, be in your own thoughts. So I am glad that it is Thursday. It has been a very long week, and we are having gorgeous weather here in Chicago. It has been in the lower 80s for the last 3 days, which has been beautiful. But I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop and the cooler weather to come back, because it is definitely way too early in the season for the weather to be this beautiful. Now, I wasn't home at all today. I was at work all day, but when I got home, I was like, I just turned the heat off, like, I don't know, yesterday. So I realized it's 80 degrees outside. I think I should turn the heat off. And I was definitely thinking I should turn the air conditioning on, but I'll just open a window. No, I don't like to open windows. And I don't sleep with the windows open. You know, there's like burglars. Yeah, you know, I watch the ID channel. Do any of you watch the ID channel? It's great. I love, you know, the true crime and stuff. But it definitely makes you paranoid. And it makes you think that someone's going to crawl in the window and murder you in your sleep. So it's like, I'll just put the air conditioning on. But you know, here all the leaves, all the flowering trees and things are starting to come into bloom. I have a star magnolia, which is kind of like it's like, is it a bush? Is it a tree? It's about 6 feet tall, I would say, maybe more than that, 7. But it gets these beautiful white blooms, and it's in full bloom right now. And I'm like driving around the neighborhood, driving to work and stuff, and seeing all these beautiful trees in bloom. Of course, those all fall off, and it's a very short time where you have that. So it's like, notice them, enjoy them, because they will only be around for a week or something like that. So. But I definitely like these. Oh, Ron said he'll come up if you I want to guess. Yes, Ron, come on up, buddy. Love to have you. Let me send you the link in Instagram, and I'd love for you to come up. If you want to do one of your mandalas, you could do that, or whatever you like. If you're working on something already, that would be great too. So I sent you the link. It should be in your Instagram. Yeah, so it's a beautiful time of the year, you know. It's before the heat starts. You know, in Chicago, it gets very humid and sticky. You know, it's like, so this time of year is beautiful, and the grass is so beautiful and green. Everything is, I think, the prettiest in the spring because it's always the same. It's like, oh, there's Ron. Let's say hello. It's always the same. It's like it is gorgeous in the spring, and once you start to get to the end of June and July, then the drought type season kicks in, and then the grass starts to get brown and dry, and it's just really hot then. So let's add Ron here. Hello, Ron.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Thanks for joining me.
Well, I'm just surprised you're live.
I know.
By yourself.
It was impromptu.
Oh, I'm just practicing.
I'm just practicing, yeah. So, did you see these beautiful pens that I got from Miss Southern Belle?
I see those colors look awesome.
They're very vibrant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And did you happen to see this beautiful color by number book that she sent me?
I did. That looks freaking. I love how you got the little color panel.
Yeah. I had to look through it and find out how this, because I was like, okay, I see all the numbers, but okay, what do? Do you just assign them yourself and then this folded out? It's like, okay, perfect.
Yeah. Perfect.
So, I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Well, I guess I figured I'd get a Mandela out too then.
Okay. We need more $1,000,000, you know?
Yeah. I'm going to use markers.
Okay.
Oh, I wonder if it'll bleed through and money.
Usually you're using your Twistable.
Yeah, I figure I'll use something different since you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to spice it up a little, try a new.
Oh my god, don't get me on that subject.
Oh god, what now?
Oh, I can't talk about it. Here, get mad. Can I talk about it? Can I talk about it? Can I talk about it?
Do you want to talk about it?
You know what? The swinger club. Oh, alright, never mind. I'm not allowed to talk about it.
You could tell me.
No. I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Are you joining a swingers club, Brian?
I'm not allowed to talk about it.
I'll take that as a yes.
I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Oh god. You joining your local chapter of the Ohio Swingers?
I'm not allowed to talk about
it. Is Chevy allowed to talk about it?
He wouldn't. He won't let me.
Did he say no?
Yeah.
You'll just have to tell me later.
He's probably listening to you right now.
What? Oh, never mind, Chevy. I'm kidding.
He is. Look, he just showed me the phone. He's like, yep.
What did he say? He's listening.
Yeah, he watching you right now.
Oh. What up, Chevy?
What up, Chevy? Shout out.
Yeah. Chevy, you should join us in coloring.
Who's the little watch guys? What? Oh, yeah, go for it. You can hear what? What can you hear?
Me?
What's up, Mr. K?
What up, Mr. K? Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Ooh, will you get headphones?
Who, me?
Turn on the closed captioning, okay? Don't you know how to read? That's how I gotta watch videos when you're sleeping, is with stupid closed captions. What's up, Mr. K?
Chevy came a little colored with us one time.
My husband's annoying me right now. Ain't that right, Chevy? Huh? I don't know. You're probably behind. Are you using closed captions?
Oh my gosh.
What are you doing, Mr. K? Mr. K, do you color?
Mr. K, you should color.
Yeah. You just show your coloring book. You ain't got to show nothing else.
Although.
Bell said, poor Chevy. Nuh-uh, poor me. He's so mean to me. Chevy, tell them how mean you are to me. He's like,
Oh, God. I think you're...
Why does everyone always defend Chevy? No. You don't know
Chevy.
You don't know the true Chevy. He ties me up in the basement.
You enjoy that too much.
I know. I
Who are you kidding?
I know.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna make this like a whole variety.
Well, do it, Mr. K. I got coloring books like you would like. Like you could color this kind of stuff.
Yeah, this kind of stuff just screams Mr. K.
It does.
You know?
I got like a Batman one somewhere. Where was it? Was that the new one? But yeah, you would like these.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if there's a Batman or Robin coloring book. I bet there would be.
Here's the Justice League that has Batman.
Does it have Robin?
No, I don't think so. But it's got Batman.
That's cool.
Ooh, everyone always defends you. That's why you're not allowed to show yourself. Go away. No, you brought it up. Get out of the damn chat, homo.
Chevy, you're welcome to join us if you want to color.
No, he in bed. Probably watching pornography.
Well, that does sound more entertaining than this. Somebody once told me that, like, coloring's boring. It's like, well, it's supposed to be relaxing. It's not, if you're looking for something action-packed and exciting, you don't.
No, don't be over there typing. Don't be over there typing things into this chat, sir. I'm headed to. Oh, that's what. Yeah, you can type that. You just flick me off, I'll break your finger. What? I know. I told you I shouldn't go live. You said do it. Be nice to Scott. I was like, oh, okay. It's like,
the happy couple over there.
We are 20. How long have we been together?
You're not supposed to ask that.
Oh, how old am I? I don't remember. 20-something years I've been with that man and trying to convert me into his gayisms.
I don't think he had to twist your arm.
No, just I almost said something and somebody would say, see, Ron always talks about blah blah. Ron's not talking about it, so no.
Were you going to talk about something naughty or
Ooh, Belle, you will suck his fingers. I don't know where his fingers have been. On me, so that'd be gross. So,
oh my God.
Ew. Are you looking at me funny, dude?
Miss Bell, you don't want to come up? Did you see me showing the coloring book, the paint by number coloring book? I love it. I just want to spend time on it though and not rush through it so I don't mess it up. So I'll probably start on it, and then once I start to kind of get the groove of it, then do a live and do at least some of it, because I think it's going to be really good. Have you ever used one of those?
What? Which day were you talking to me?
I'm talking to Miss Bell.
Chevy was yelling at me.
What did he say?
He said he's gonna lock my homo ass in the basement.
Well, then you probably deserve it. If Chevy said that, you probably deserve
it. Probably. I need a fan. Whew.
Yeah, you're getting all hot and bothered just thinking about it, aren't you?
Oh, I love the way you say bothered. Bothered. Sound like Fran Drescher. I can't talk like her, but yeah. Who would you want to be if you was a drag queen? Who would your woman person you wanted to dress up be?
I've never really considered that. I guess.
Why not? Oh, Dolly Parton. That's a good one.
Who said
that's
that?
Real good.
Oh,
Belle said that. I think I'd want to be like Shania Twain or something.
I'd probably be.
Whose bed have you boots been?
Well, you were talking about Fran Drescher. I always liked Sylvia, her mother.
That reminds me of somebody else, but I'm not gonna say their name.
So I'd probably be Sylvia.
Yeah.
She was, flashy, big,
loose.
Well, no.
Yeah, she was. I remember her. She was always trying to sleep with Ottomans.
Well,
she had the big glasses, the real big glasses.
Oh, that was the grandmother.
Oh, that's who I thought you were talking about.
That was Yetta.
I thought you were talking about her.
That was.
Oh, the mother. Oh, you would be the mother.
Sylvia.
Oh, the one always wanting to cook something or eat something.
The blonde. Yeah.
I'm blonde.
She'd always be like, "Do you have anything to eat?"
Yeah, I know.
She would be fun.
What about some cold cuts? Maybe some nice cheese, a little platter.
Mm.
What? What say? You said something, homo. I am. Well, I was born blonde. I don't care if I'm gray now. You gotta tell them that. They don't know.
He said, "You're not blonde."
He did. He's like, "You're not blonde. You're gray."
Did you used to be blonde, Ron?
Yeah.
You did that.
Chevy Clinton.
You were born gray.
Well, I was not born gray. I started going gray when me and Chevy were together. I had a big old gray, patch on the top of my head.
Was that due to stress?
Yeah, that's probably why it's all gray now because of him. I just did. What are you gonna do about it? She said, "Life with Rom would be one of the." Yeah, I would be a golden girl. I'd be Blanche. I would. What do you mean you don't know? Who would I be then? Rose? Why would I be Rose?
Oh, yeah. I can see you as Rose.
Huh? Why would I be Rose?
She liked to cook, especially dishes from St. Louis.
Why would I be Rose? All my stories, they're true stories. Shut up.
You would be Rose.
Sophia? Ooh, fuck you.
Well, you had the gray hair.
Ew. I'm so over the gays
Who would Chevy be?
Who would Chevy be?
Mm-hmm.
I would not carry a purse. A man one, maybe. A nice Gucci one. Yeah. What? Huh? Oh, you were supposed to give me that for my birthday, remember? Oh, you owe me a Gucci man purse.
All right, so I'll be Sylvia Fine.
Sylvia Klein, who's that?
Sylvia Fine, that was Fran's mother.
Oh, that's who you would be if. Oh, you got a blonde wig. You should do a skit as her. Get some cold cuts out and just find one of the voice little shorts of like voice sound clips of that. Got any cold cuts? A cheese tray.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing any drag queen.
You already did one.
I did an impression of my mother.
That still was a drag queen.
I did an impression of my mother and my sister.
Yeah. So,
and myself as a child, and my father.
Yeah.
Which that was a lot of fun.
See, so we'll do more drag. We love it,
Yeah.
obviously.
I did one video.
Well, let's just say you didn't have to go buy the wig for the video.
Yes, I did.
You lie.
I did have to go buy the video.
You a lying ass.
What do you think? I wear that around the house?
Yeah,
Because I
you
look
do.
so sexy in it?
You do.
You do.
If I had a nice wig, I might.
And that was a nice one, too. Did you notice? My
It
wig was bouncing and behaving.
looked more Party City, but I mean, okay.
Baby wig. You had a wig like that. That was a lace front. I had it lace.
He said that natural human hair, baby. That's 6,000 thread count.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was all laid to the side and everything. Oh,
Do you wear that when you wear your lace?
huh?
You know, your little lace 90s?
That's what you wear probably right now.
No, the ones you showed me earlier.
What? That's what you got on right now. You're probably looking in the mirror.
Tell him I ain't got nothing on right now.
Probably have a damn negligee around your ankles.
Nope. It's hot here. We got hot temperatures here.
How warm is it over there in Ohio?
Echo, what's the temperature?
Right now, it's 71 degrees Fahrenheit.
71, and that's at
Tonight, expect a low of
9:30. So
49
that's
degrees.
imagine what it was earlier.
Did you
Well,
know?
it was 83
I can also
here.
answer other
Well, it's
kinds
probably
of
warmer
important
here. Don't
questions
try to
like,
come for
can
me.
dogs eat
I
cookies?
But you're from Ohio.
I am not.
Do you love all the Ohio memes?
No, I hate when people do it. I'm like, if you're not from here, don't do it. It's like, no. You asked me. You shouldn't have asked me. I blame you.
Uh-huh.
Do you like them?
Yeah.
I think they should make one for every state.
No, just Ohio.
No.
I think we keep it just the way it is.
Like, why Ohio? Like, there's other states that are way worse. Like, what's that one where? Where's Chicago? Illinois. That's real bad.
What?
Yeah,
Why?
that's where all the gangsters are.
Oh.
And the mafia.
Oh.
You know, your people.
What?
What?
God. Putting all my business on.
Well, shouldn't send me death threats. It's like, no.
See, it's all about knowing what not to say sometimes. So, what's your favorite Ohio meme?
Well, I don't know. You have to explain that question to me. because I don't really understand it.
Well,
What do you mean by mean? Because I don't really understand.
oh, like I don't know. I mean, it could be a variety of things. It could be somebody like just like driving a bulldozer off of a cliff, and they'll be like, and I don't really understand it either, but it'll be like only in Ohio or something, and it's like, why exactly? I don't know, but there's a whole lot of them.
Oh, I don't know.
So, do you know that?
I still don't understand.
Oh, okay. Well, Google it.
But tractors, yeah, tractors are Ohio. I feel Ohio because Ohio's a big farm country.
Okay. I don't know. It's a big thing on TikTok.
Is it?
Oh yeah, people love
I mean, I've heard that one sound where it's what's that one sound?
down in Ohio.
Down in Ohio or something. Like I've heard that. I didn't know it was like a whole amazing popular. I know because everyone loves us because we're so. I don't want to say.
There's a lot of good YouTubers from Ohio.
I know we're popular.
And there's also a lot of train derailments.
In trains, I love trains most of the time. Wait, this is not on my markers, is it? No, where's all the rest of it?
I don't think I've ever been to Ohio.
Really?
Mhm.
I've been to Chicago.
Oh, okay.
You guys have smoking sidewalks.
You must have visited in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do that in summer.
Well, our sidewalks don't smoke in the winter.
What?
No,
Why not? Are they broken?
I think that's weird. No, they don't smoke. They don't. They're just sewage drains. They don't have heat coming out of them.
Our sidewalks, they smoke them if you got them, honey.
No, we don't. We don't got them, and we don't smoke them.
Yeah.
No, it's impossible.
I'm loving these pens.
Yeah, they look awesome.
I hope my head wasn't right in the middle of the camera there.
I don't know.
I don't know if it was or not.
Yeah, if it was.
Life with Ron has a pair of overalls.
How do you know? Who told you that? Oh, yeah, I do.
I just knew that. I saw
Yeah,
it.
they're white. I might have a khaki pair too. Do I have a khaki pair too? Oh, are you still watching? I thought about trying to change my look and just becoming like a little country boy guy.
Really?
Man, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So you
But I
stocked up on the overalls and
well,
that sort of thing?
I mean, no, but I'm just saying. I got a few. I'm not like stocked up.
Where did you find those? I've never seen that.
Usually, you got to order them online from somewhere.
Hmm.
You gotta be careful when you order them online because if you order them from some places, they'd be a lot smaller.
If you order them from China, forget about it.
Yeah, pretty much. Or anywhere else.
Right.
Because I don't know why American sizes are bigger.
Well, it's like if you order them from China, you better lose 100 pounds before you try to fit into it because they're literally like half the size of the American size.
Yeah.
I don't know why they do that, especially when they're selling them to Americans. You know, it would be fine if they were selling them in China,
Mm-hmm.
but wouldn't you think you would go with the sizing for the country that you're marketing it towards?
Maybe.
Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of returns, I would imagine.
Are you asleep over there?
What's Chevy doing?
Are you asleep over there? No. Are you on TikTok? I told you have one more day allowed on TikTok, then you get off.
He loves it.
What?
He loves TikTok.
Yeah, I know. Too much.
You like it?
No. That's where he met this. Never mind. I'm not allowed to talk about it.
That's where he met this guy?
What? No.
Or where you did?
What? What? Who?
Uh-huh.
What? The Swinger Peoples is on. I mean,
All right,
you said what? You should have said what? The people that was on the TikToks? Hold on, I'll shut up for a second.
we're going to need to hear a little bit more about that, probably. Now the microphone's muted. Uh-oh. I want to know about the swingers now. Now, these colors do not go together in any way. That's the beauty about coloring the mandalas. Who cares? I love this crystal. I showed you this, right? Actually, Ron gave me this.
What?
I was showing the crystal.
You're getting me in trouble. Don't ask me no more questions about swingers.
Wow.
No.
Uh-oh, I think you reached out to them.
Who?
If you don't
No.
tell us, I'll just make it. I'll just make it up in my mind. And
That's what most people on YouTube do. Where's the rest of these markers?
How do you like those so far, by the way?
What?
Are you using markers?
Yeah, but I don't. Hold on. There gotta be more of them.
Do you have a piece of paper behind you?
Let me. What?
I put this, just a piece of paper,
I thought it was me.
so it doesn't bleed. Ron's overturning his desk right now, looking for the rest of those markers. When you have these early periods of nice weather like that, it makes you kind of excited for the summer, and it's like you start thinking in terms of like, oh, it's going to be nice weather now. But the reality always returns. And
I would just like to clarify: me and Chevy are not swingers. We would not be swingers, and I think they're weirdos.
you were just looking for their contact information, weren't you? You swinger, you.
No, we would not do that. We're too old. Maybe a few years ago.
We would totally do that. You sure seem excited about it. You talk about it a lot.
What? Just, I can't tell you why, but no.
Oh, do you know someone that is?
No, I don't actually. You told me yo. Ew, shut up about it all. Alright.
You're the one that keeps bringing it up. I was prepared to move on.
Amen. Let's do that. So what is
But
up?
now it just seems like we should talk about him.
What do you got planned for this weekend? You should go for a walk if it's gonna be nice. That's what we're planning. Ain't that right, sir? The whole crew. Bella, Chi-Chi, Chevy.
Oh, okay.
We all gonna go for a hike.
Is Chi going to be in her bassinet?
In her backpack.
Her backpack?
Yeah.
Does anyone come up to you when you're wearing that and say
They better not.
they don't? I would.
They better not. No,
You
don't
have a
come over
bird
me.
in there?
I don't care. You better stay 12 feet away from me.
You love people.
No. I know. No, truly don't. I tolerate people sometimes. 50-50%.
Yeah.
40-60 actually.
So, are you going to be going to the forest preserve?
We are. Why? I don't call it forest preserve, but I get what you do. I've seen it called that before, but they're called state parks. Yeah, we're going to a state park.
Oh, okay.
That's what, next weekend? Hello, sir.
What?
When is the state park?
What?
When are we going to the park? The state park. A week from tomorrow.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that a state park. So, what do you call when you
Like we have metro parks and we have state parks. Metro parks are like ran by counties or cities, and actually I think they're nicer. And then we have state parks that have like campgrounds and cabins and all this stuff that are ran by the state and have like big hiking trails and stuff. So we're gonna stay at a state park.
Okay. I wanted to go to some of them around here get very crowded, you know.
Yeah.
But there's one that is called Starved Rock, and it's about an hour and a half or more west of Chicago, maybe like 2 hours. So it's not really in the Chicago metropolitan area, but it gets a lot of people going there from here.
Yeah.
And I've been there once, and I will say though, it's kind of like.
Oh, did you look into that Golden Grill thing? Oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go for it.
What?
Nothing. Go. What were you saying?
You're walking through these trails, and it's crowded in the woods today. You know, it's like bumper to bumper hikers. You know, but it was kind of interesting because I was watching the ID channel.
Yeah.
And there was a case that was unsolved about these women from Chicago back in the, I think it was 60s or something. And there in the winter time, which would not be the time most people would go there, of course. But they went to go hiking, and there's like a hotel there on the premises and stuff, and they rented the. It was 3 adult women. They left their families and their husbands, behind for like a weekend away, and then they got murdered. There, and which is awful, I mean, but I was watching it on TV. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been there, and you would think that would make me not want to go there, but it kind of made me want to visit again. Not obviously because of that, but it just looked really beautiful on TV, despite the fact that a horrific crime occurred there. But so it would be nice to go biking there.
Ooh, while I got you here and you're under, the light of the YouTube, tell us a story. because you haven't told me one yet. I know you got a story in you. Yeah, tell us one of your scary stories or something. What's the creepiest thing that's happened to you? You were going to tell a story about that one time, about like one of them, what are they called, a paranormal experience?
Oh gosh, I've had so many of those. Ever since I
Hello,
was
Annie Janny. What's up? Do you want to come up and call, or maybe I don't know. I shouldn't have said that. That's not my channel.
Hey Annie, how are you? Good to see you. What are you doing tonight? Are you
Oh yeah, what was my thing? Yeah, the paranormal. Hello? Oh, am I
yeah.
muted?
Huh?
Am I muted?
No, you're not muted. I hear you.
Oh, okay, good. What's your weirdest like paranormal thing?
Oh man. There's
Or tell one something. You owe me a story. And you're here. Perfect time. You can tell a story while you color. Go for it.
Well,
Nice background music, color, and I'll mute myself.
I've had paranormal experiences my whole entire life. And a lot of the times when I do videos that are with me just sitting in the room, thank you, Annie. Yeah, we're doing the Mandelas tonight. Just clearing our minds and doing these. But yeah, oftentimes when I do videos here in my house, if you look, you'll see the orbs just floating around. Probably not here because the light source usually has to be kind of behind me for it to show up on the camera. But usually when I'm sitting with the desk behind me, I'll see them a lot in the playback of the video and stuff. But my whole life I had paranormal experiences, and I say, it's probably not the house. I think it's probably me, because it's always been that way. So it's not really frightening, to me anymore. But it once, it was back when I first started experiencing it. And well, since you asked, I guess I'll talk about it. The first paranormal experience I ever had, I was probably in preschool, so very, very young. And just to set the stage a little bit, my great grandparents had a apartment building that they owned, and they had my great grandfather had passed away. I never had met him, and my great grandmother lived in California after he passed. She actually moved to, what is the place where like Kim Kardashian and them live now? I forget the name of it. Anyways,
Calabasas?
something like that, yeah. And anyway, so she had lived there. Nobody had lived in this apartment building for a long time. But my dad decided finally that he needed to have it renovated and restored and then sell it. So it was really nice, like in that it had beautiful woodwork, and staircases, and like like kind of like a library, where it was paneled walls, but not like that 70s shit. It was like all beautifully done. So one day my mom says to me, and I'm, like I said, I don't know, 5 years old, something like that. She says, we're going to go to this apartment building when your father gets home from work, and we're just going to look at it. And if you're really good, then we're going to stop and get some ice cream on the way back home. I said, okay. So I didn't know what an apartment building was. So we get there, and to me it just looks like a house, a big building. But evidently, a lot of restorations had been done. So my mom was wanting to go room by room and look through everything. So we went in, and she was looking at the kitchen, and my dad was pointing out things like, oh, the new cabinets and the new floors here, and all this, woodwork was redone, or whatever he was talking about, and as a little kid, you don't care about any of that. And I just started to look around myself. And I went out the door into a hallway. Now, bear in mind, this was totally vacant. There was nobody there. And I saw a staircase. So I started going up it. And I remember I started going up like one stair at a time, like on my hands and knees, like a little, preschool age kid would do. And I was curious what was up at the top of those stairs. And so I get up there, and there's another door there. All the doors were open because everything was just unoccupied. And I kind of start to go in this room, and then I was really confused because I'm like, this is an exact replica of where we just were. Why is there another kitchen right here? Why is there another? I probably couldn't put it into words, but I was like confused. So I start looking around, and I see a series of doors all open. And I'm looking, and all of a sudden, from behind me, I hear someone say, "Hello, Scott." And it startled me. I flipped around, and there was a man standing there. And it scared me to death. It's like it was just the last thing that you ever expect to see. And he was dressed in a suit, gray hair. And I started to look at him, and I noticed that he's floating like about a foot off of the ground. And that part is kind of almost see-through. Like, I don't know what the word is, opaque, where you can see through it. It scared me to death. I had no idea who this was. There was nobody in here. I flipped around to look to run out, but now there was 4 doors, and I don't know which door I came through. So I just, as a little kid, I just screamed out, and it must have been a, that scream that a parent knows is something's wrong. And I flipped around to see this person again. He was gone. He had completely vanished. And it was within a second. It was no more than turn around, look to see where to go, don't know, look back, gone. There was nowhere that anybody could have gone in a second like that. They would have had to have walked past me to get to the door. So now I'm terrified. My mother hears me screaming and comes running up the stairs and says, "What's the matter? What's the matter? Where are you hurt?" And I was just crying, like unconsolably, because it just scared me so much. And I said, she starts looking at me, she starts pulling up my shirt, looking to see where I'm hurt. I said, "There's a man." She said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "There's a man in here." And she could see, I'm sure, that I was just absolutely in terror. So she scooped me up, ran me down the stairs into that apartment that we had been in, slammed the door, locked it, and my dad said, "What's the matter with him?" And I still remember this all very vividly, She said, he said, "There's a man upstairs." And my dad was like, "What are you talking about? There's nobody here." She said, "Look at him." She said, "There's a man upstairs." He said, "There's a man." Impossible. Now, of course, this was the 1980s, so my father had a they call them a car phone back in those days, you know, they were built into the car. But my mother was like, I'm not going out into the hallway. You can't leave us. Like, she was like, call the police. Well, you know, this building had been vacant. There were no phones that were active in there. So we couldn't even call the police. And he says, well, I'm going to go look. Well, he grabbed, like, I don't know if it was an extra piece of board or if there was a bat or something there, but he grabs that and he says, I'm going to go check the whole place. So stay in here, lock the door behind me, and don't open it until I come back. So, of course, he leaves, and I'm just like inconsolable. I'm just like frazzled, and it's making my mother frazzled because clearly, you know, there's got to be somebody in this building. So, seems of course like he's been gone forever, and she's trying to calm me down. The next thing that, you know, we hear is someone at a back door. Now, we don't know the layout of this place. I didn't even know the apartments had a back door. Evidently, there was a porch that connected each floor, you know, as like a secondary egress in each apartment. And we just see the knob twisting and somebody trying to rattle open the door. Now we're even more terrified. And finally, my dad says, it's me, open the door. So, even then, I don't think my mom was ready to open the door, you know? So she unlocks it, and he comes in, and now he's pissed. There's nobody here. Well, did you look, she said, you know, through the whole place? Yeah, I looked in every room, every bedroom, every bathroom, every closet. I went down the basement. I looked everywhere. All the outside doors are locked. There is no one here. And he was mad. And so now they turn to me. My mother is furious. She says, why are you lying? And I said, I'm not lying. Yes, you are. There's nobody here. Why would you make that up? You scared us. It was like, I'm telling you the truth. Why are you know, it's like, and you don't even have the words at that kind of an age to say it. And of course, I didn't have the concept of a ghost. If you don't know, you know, it's like just, you know, describing the color, you know, blue or something. You know, it's like, if you don't even know of the concept, how can you possibly explain it to someone? So I just remember we continued on through the building, and I just held on to my parents the whole entire time. And I just said, can we leave? Can we leave? Let's go. She said, you lied, and we're not going for ice cream now. I remember that part. I said, I don't care. Let's go. I want to leave. She said, we can't leave right now. We have to wait for your grandmother to get here. She's going to show there's quilts or something. So we went out to the alley, and there was a there, and there was a trunk, and in it had old like bed or like, I guess quilts is what they were, and they were like pillowcases that had, I don't know, embroidery or something like that. So my grandmother wanted my mother to take these, and my mother didn't give a crap about them, but to be nice, she's like, oh, we have to take him. And I'm like, let's go. And I remember my grandmother saying, well, what's the matter with him? Why does he want to go so bad? She says, I just got here. I want to see you. My mom said, oh, well, yeah, we had a little problem in there. She said, what's the matter? She said, oh, he went upstairs and he's screaming, saying there's a man upstairs. She said, was there somebody here? And my dad said, no. I looked through the whole entire house and there was nobody here at all. All the doors are locked. So he was lying to us, and now we're not going to go for ice cream after we leave here because he lied. And my grandmother said, maybe he did see someone. She said, no, how could he see someone? Every door was locked. There's nobody. Maybe he saw a spirit. My mother was like, oh, that's ridiculous. But my grandmother was like, okay, well, it's possible. So that experience was really traumatizing for me, and I just remember being so scared because it was like the natural, I don't know, elements of the earth, gravity and things like that. It was like everything was out the window. It's like when someone's floating in front of you and appears and then disappears. So although it was disturbing, at that young age, you ultimately sort of kind of forget it. I always thought, like, when people talked about memories that had been lost or repressed or forgotten, I always thought, like, if something was traumatizing, how could you ever forget it? You would remember it always. Well, that's what I thought until it happened to me. And it turns out I think because it was so traumatizing and my brain just couldn't comprehend what I saw, I basically forgot about it. Well, I did forget about it until the early 2000s. And I was home from college. I was visiting with my parents. And I remember we were sitting out on their screened-in patio one evening, just talking. And something must have come up about, the grandparents or the relatives, something. So my mom went and grabbed a photo album. And I started flipping through it, paging through it. It was all, old pictures. And about 4 or 5 pages in, I flipped to a picture, and it all just came rushing back to me. And I said, who is this? And it was a picture of an older man dressed in a suit. And he said, that's your great-grandfather. And I said, I've seen him. And they said, well, no, he died before you were born. And I said, is that the one that had the apartment building? And they said, yeah. I said, I remember. I saw him. I said, how is that possible? I said, do you remember when the apartment building was being renovated and it was just about to go on the market and you brought us over to see the building before it went up for sale? And they were like, I mean, not really particularly. I guess, they didn't remember any specifics. And I said, oh yes, it absolutely happened. And I described the whole scene and everything. And I said, and I wandered off and I was in that apartment. And they said, well, which apartment was it? And I said, it was, second floor, first apartment. I described where it was located. And my dad said, yeah, that was the apartment that back when they had lived in the building when they were much, much younger, that was the one that they lived in. And he had died there. He was there doing some kind of, I don't know, work or something, or just touring it after somebody had moved out or something, and he ended up having a heart attack and passing away there. So I said, yeah, that was where he died. And I said, I have seen him. He appeared to me and he spoke to me. So that was my first paranormal experience, and it was so traumatic that I actually repressed it for a long time. But and there were many more after that.
That was a really good story, dude, and it's amazing to end up being your grandfather.
It was my great-grandfather, yeah.
Your great-grandfather. Mm-hmm. That's cool. See?
It was, yeah. It was just, I don't know. You wonder if, like, an experience like that
anything like, I get when you were little that was scary because you didn't know about ghosts, but anything like as an adult that might have been scary or frightening.
Oh God, yeah. Oh man, many things, yeah.
Well, tell
When
me
I
a short one or a long one. It don't matter. Go for it.
well, I
I was
remember.
like really enjoying that while I was, and I'm sure everybody else who's here was enjoying it too.
Well, I don't know if they were or not,
Well,
but
I did. So tell me another one.
well, there was sort of like for a long period in my life, I really didn't have any of those experiences. It was sort of after that memory um, came back to me or whatever, I started having an interest. I think, I think the universe prepares you for what you're going to need. And I think that it all happened just exactly the way it was supposed to. It was like your mind will shut down when there's something that's too traumatic that you can't handle it. And it will sometimes return. I've come to realize when you are at a point in your life when you're able to process it. And I think that that's exactly what happened. And I started having an interest at that point in paranormal, and I never had an interest in all those years in between. I never liked any kind of paranormal movies. I found them very scary, and it was never something I had an interest in. So I started developing an interest in it, and I sought out, shows and things, regarding it, and read about it. And I think that whole memory just made me want to know more. So that was when I started looking into it more, but I didn't really have any experiences, And then I moved into this house at some point, and that's when it all started. I remember the very first picture. I was having things renovated before I moved in, and the floors were being sanded down and stuff like that. And I remembered I came when it was like a construction zone, and I couldn't walk on the floors, but I just opened the door and I was just taking pictures. And I reviewed the pictures later when I got home, and I saw all these orbs, and I was now familiar with what orbs were purported to be, which is spirit, light. And I thought, huh, that's creepy. Occasionally I would see them in pictures. You didn't, before cell phones, you didn't take most of us didn't take as many photos as we do now. Now you snap a picture of anything. But back then, when you had cameras and stuff, you were much, much more reserved with how many photos you would take. So sometimes, like in holidays and things like that, I'd see orbs that would be in the pictures, but didn't think a whole lot of it. So I saw that and I thought, that's a little unnerving. I'm seeing these in these pictures. So after that, I remember one thing I was doing was I was going to do some of the what do you call not construction, but like the demolition. I was going to demo one of the bathrooms and take down. There was wall tile and tile in the shower and stuff like that. I was going to like demo that out and then have somebody put in new tiles. And I remember I was here working, and it was right around Christmas time, and I had taken a week off of work, and my plan was I was going to, after the holidays, use that week to just try to get a lot of stuff done around the house. And so I was working on the first day, and here all by myself. The first time I'd really been, by myself here. And I started working, and I'm, about an hour in, and I all of a sudden just feel so sick to my stomach. I mean, it came out of nowhere, and I just was feeling horrible. So I ended up, being sick, and I was just like, I just got to get out of here now, because I'm like, I need to get home, because I wasn't, living here yet. And I'm like, I just need to get home because I'm afraid I'm going to be getting sick, if I just need to get home as fast as I can. So I got home and I was sick the whole rest of the week, like in bed sick type of thing. And I just believe that, I can't say for sure, but it really felt like there was spirits here that, they say activity can be stirred when you do renovations to a home. And in hindsight, I think that's exactly what it was. I think that if there were spirits here, and I knew that there were, they probably don't understand exactly what's going on. And they see someone tearing apart their home, right? And they don't like it. And if they have the ability to affect someone, they just might. And I think that that's exactly what they did. So, for that week, I got, I couldn't return. I was too ill. So, but there was, when I did return, I didn't have a lot of things during, the rest of the renovation process, surprisingly. It wasn't until I moved into the house that there was so many things that began happening. Slowly at first, and then it was every day. Every day it would be something. I remember one time, I was so tired, I had probably been up, doing stuff around the house or unpacking or whatever, and I was sleeping, and I must have rolled over and turned the alarm clock off. So I fell back asleep, and I needed to be at work, So I remember at one point, all of a sudden, I hear what was like this, like a whack right on the bedside table right next to my head. Now, I was all alone in the house. I shot up out of bed. I looked at the table. I looked and saw the time, and I didn't even have time to process it. I just had to, because I'm like, oh my God, I needed to be at work like 10 minutes ago already, and I'm sleeping. So I just jumped up, and I'm like, oh my God, did that just happen? I couldn't even think about it. I ran into the shower. I just threw myself together as fast as I could, and I ran out the door. And I'm thinking about it. I was on the way to work, and I'm like, something slammed down on the table next to my head like a fist. And that was when I thought, maybe this is something that's here that's not a bad thing, but in a way, in that instance, it was there helping me. So I remember that one vividly. And another quick one was, I remember leaving, or getting ready to leave in the morning, another morning, and I was grabbing my bags and ready to walk out the door, and all of a sudden I hear bzzz, this noise. I had no idea what that noise could possibly be. I start going towards where I think the noise is coming from. It's coming from the bathroom. So I go into the bathroom, and it sounds like it's coming from a closet. So I go into the closet, and it sounds like it's coming from the top shelf in the closet. So I start looking, and there's, all kinds of, I don't know, mouthwash and, extra toothbrushes and whatever was all stored up there. And I start digging to the back of the closet, and there was an electric shaver. Now, I didn't have a beard in those days, so it was a shaver, and it was battery, rechargeable. But I had not used that in probably 8 months. It wasn't something I regularly used. So, it wouldn't have been holding a charge for that long of a period. But, how did it turn on all by itself in a closet that I had not even been in that day? And it turned on. So I grab it, and it had like a rubberized button. So it was like, You push it and it returns to sender. You push it and it returns. So it wasn't like a switch that you switch on and switch off. It was, it was like a rubberized button that you pushed in and it popped back up. And the button was completely mashed in. So when I tried to turn it off, I couldn't get it to turn off. It was broken in the on position. And it's running. And I was like freaking out. Like, how did that just happen? I have no idea. But I couldn't even get it to turn off. And I'm like, well, what do you do now? Like, I can't just leave this thing running in the house. I mean, I suppose I could, but that just seems weird. So it was just running. So I brought it with me in the car. And I thought, let it run out of batteries. I don't know why I brought it with me, but it just, like I said, seemed weird to just leave this thing running in the house. So it ran out of batteries. And like I said, it was like an internal rechargeable battery. It wasn't like you could replace it. So I could never get the button to go back in, and I ended up just throwing it in the trash ultimately. But, it was like something wanted me to know that it was there. So, yeah, that was one of many, many experiences that I've had over the years.
That was another good one. Noni's here.
Hey, Noni. How are you? Forgive me for talking so much. Yeah,
No, we love the stories.
Not something.
I was hoping Noni would come up and tell one, but if she doesn't, maybe you can tell me another one. Because I know I'll be like, make a video, and you're like, sure, and it'll be 2 years later, and you're like, oh, I'm sorry.
All right, well, I'll tell you another one.
Okay, thank you.
Because and at one point, and
it helps me see. You know how I interrupt so much. It helps me keep myself muted so I'm not rude, because I am constantly rude and interrupting people. So, and then I like listening to your stories, so that helps.
Okay, well, thank you. I used to keep a list. I don't know where that list is now, but it would happen so frequently that I actually would keep a list of the things that would happen on a daily basis, and if it wasn't every day, it was, every other day, and every day I would see the orbs. And usually people say, oh, I just see the orbs like on film or, in playback of a video or something. I would see them with my naked eye, but it would always be when there would be a light source between me. So, like, for instance, I would be sitting on the couch watching TV. I would see the orbs dart, past the light source of the television. And they were these little balls of light. And they would be fast. They would dart. And it, like, in the hallway, there's a chandelier. So I would, I could see that from where I was sitting. And I would always see them around the chandelier. And I was living alone in the house, at that point, and there was no one here, and I would see them all the time. And at first it really frightened me, because I had one chandelier in one vantage point to the left, and there was another chandelier to the right, and I would look back and forth, and I would see these things over, and I think, oh my god, this is unbelievable. It's like so creepy. And sometimes I would just be like so freaked out. But, more things are coming back to me as I'm talking about it. I remember one time I was laying across my bed, and it was like a Saturday night. I decided I wasn't going to go out, and I was just talking to a good friend of mine on the phone. And it was one of those like marathon phone conversations. It was several hours, and we were just talking. And I was, of course, alone in the house, and on the other side of my bedroom wall is a living room. And I was laying kind of diagonally, across the bed. And my head was up towards the headboard, and which was, right next to the wall. And all of the sudden, we're on the phone, all of a sudden I hear through the wall right next to my head. It was 3 knocks like that. Talk about freaked out. Like, it just stops your heart, your blood runs cold, and you think there's someone in the house. But I knew there wasn't. And I'm very fastidious about making sure those doors are all locked in this house. Like, when I come in, I lock the door behind me. I never leave a door unlocked. I never, even on a nice day, like, I wouldn't open the door and just like, oh, no, because anybody could just walk in. So those doors were all locked, and there was 3 distinct loud knocks. I don't know what that was about. I think it was really just about, hey, Adam. I think it was really just about letting me know that something was there with me, and that was definitely a creepy memory of a paranormal experience. But the one I was going to tell you was about one day a coworker's father-in-law passed away. And so, of course, I always attend wakes if I know if it's someone, a coworker, a neighbor, whatever, I'm always that person who attends the wake. And just to offer your condolences and stuff like that. And you never know if they have a lot of family or friends or not. It's important that people show up there, even if they don't know the person that passed away. So I make that a point. And on that particular day, my coworker had said, yeah, my father-in-law passed away, and I knew the day before that they were having the wake, and it wasn't particularly close to my house. And I says, okay, well, I'm gonna go home and change, because that's the other thing. A lot of people show up to wakes and things dressed in whatever, and I think, show respect and dress nicely for it. I go home and put on a tie. So I went and did that, and I was getting there a bit later then. It was probably the last hour of the wake. But wake, you're just there to show your respects and speak with the family a little bit, and you're not expected to necessarily be there for a real long time. So I showed up and I talked, and I like to reminisce about. He had shared a lot of stories over the years. Actually, my coworker did, about this particular father-in-law. He was elderly, so there was a lot of things that he had to help with and stuff. So I like to try to relay some personal things, to the family. And I was talking to his wife, and kind of telling her that your husband told me quite a bit about your father. So anyways, it was time to go, and I was driving home, and I passed by a lamp repair business. Of course, it was closed, but it got me thinking on the way home. I says, I have some antique lamps in my attic, and I would like to have them rewired, just because I wanted to use them, but I was like, they're really old, and I just wouldn't feel comfortable using them without having them rewired. So I thought, I'm going to remember that name, and I'm going to look them up, and then call and see if they do that kind of thing. So I was thinking about that on the way home, and I decided I'm going to go up to the attic and look for these, just and take a picture maybe, and just so I can remember how they looked. And I'm going to consider looking into getting these lamps redone. So I went up there, and the attic is a full walk-up attic, a staircase and a whole attic. So I go up there, Now remember, I'm just coming home from this wake, so I mean, I was next to the casket, I was talking with the family and all that. Well, I find the lamps, they were there, and I decide to go take a picture so that I'll won't have to go back up there. I'll just look at the picture, and if I go there or whatever, I can show them or whatever. So I go to take a picture. I turn on the camera, the phone, the camera, and I'm lining it up, sort of, like get it in the shot. And I'm holding it there, and I'm about to hit the button, and I see the orbs standing like almost still right in the field of the camera view. And I'm looking around the camera, and there's nothing. I'm looking in the camera lens, and I'm seeing them. So I start snapping, the pictures, and now I'm freaked out. I snapped a picture or two, maybe at most, and I got the hell out of there. I was like, I just can't, like that scared me. So I went down, stairs, and I was looking at it, and I didn't even want to look at it more that night, but I was at work the next day, and I was telling not that coworker that lost the father, but somebody else who I had shared a lot of these kinds of experiences with. And I said, you got to see this. And I show it, and so I kind of zoom in, and you can literally see a face in the orb of the eyes and the nose and the mouth. And I was like, oh my gosh. Now that was freaky. So there was so many things over the years that would happen. And, it didn't scare me at some point. Like I got kind of used to it, in a weird way. And I don't know if because I was open to it, I was exposed to that as a child, and it just sort of opened, it thinned the veil. I don't know how it works exactly, but I just had so many experiences, and I kind of was like, okay, I mean, I'll share the house. I mean, I'm not, nothing's really happening. I mean, things that are unnerving happen, but that's about it, One day, I was getting ready for a trip. We were flying out crazy early in the morning. I was meeting my friends that we were traveling together, at like, I think the flight was at 6 a.m. or something like that. And, you got to be at the airport, and they say like 2 hours ahead of time and all that and whatever. So I knew I was going to have to be up ridiculously early. And I really wasn't even going to go to bed. I figured, So the one thing that I had done, though, I had thrown a load of towels in the wash. And I thought about it, and I said, oh no, I have those towels that are still in the washing machine. I'm going to be gone for a week. I can't leave them in there. So I need to, one last thing, I decided I was going to lay down and just sleep for 1 hour. And I set 5 alarms so that I did not oversleep. And it says, okay, I'm going to lay down. I can maybe get 1 hour of a little nap here. And they'll have me up because the cab was coming. So I needed to change those towels before I put them in the dryer. And I figured, okay, well, if I put them in the dryer for 1 hour, it should, be stopped then. And I'm not going to fold them or anything. I'll just leave them in there. And at least they won't be wet and get moldy while I'm gone for an entire week. So I went down the basement. And as I'm going down about the third step, I hear a voice say, "Here he comes." My blood ran cold. I was the only one in the house. It was probably 4 in the morning. And I'm like, I stopped for a second, and I'm like, I have to make a decision. Am I going to turn around, or am I going to go? And I said, you know what? I need to throw these damn towels in the dryer. So I went down. I just kind of diverted my eyes. I didn't want to. I said, I do not want to see anything. I walked straight over to the washer, grabbed the towels, threw them in there, just kept my head down, walked up the stairs, slammed the door, and I was like, I can't believe that just happened. I don't know if I would have seen anything if I had looked around, but I did not want to see anything. You know, it was a disembodied voice, and that was the first time. Well, not the first time, but it was the first time in a long time that I had heard that, and that was very scary to hear a voice say, "Here he comes," as you're descending down the basement stairs. So I don't know how we got on this topic. I guess you asked, Ron.
You said we were having a scary story marathon. Next story. It's like Spingoolie, but early.
Yeah. I don't know. I have to think of things, you know. I have to think about. I wish I could find that list again. I used to keep that for a long time. But I finally got I sort of got the spirits to leave at some point. So I still have the orbs and, you know, occasional things, but not like I used to. Very seldomly. So do you have any experiences, Ron?
Chevy's snoring, so yeah, so I'm staying muted so I don't say bad thing.
Okay.
I mean, so you don't hear this snoring.
But you asked me, you know, it's not something I usually talk about, but sure.
What's in it? Yeah, what's in that? I mean, tell us a story. Come on.
You know, you can communicate with the spirits if you are brave. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that. And I ultimately did. And basically said, at that point, things were escalating. You know, it was just more and more frequent. And it was becoming more unnerving. You know, I mean, there were things that were always unnerving, but it was more and more of them. You know, you had the knocking right on the wall next to my head. What that "here he comes" thing really kind of put me over the edge. And when I would go down the stairs in the basement, I would say, "I'm coming down," just because I was like, I had said, you know what, out loud one day, I says, "You're welcome to be here, but I do not want to see you, because if I see you, I will not be able to handle that." So I never saw in full body, you know, I never did see here in this house. So, yeah, I did, you know, I would see the orbs all the time, but I never saw, you know, a full body. But I did hear that, "Here he comes." One of the very first things that happened, I do remember that, was I was making a boxed cake or cookie mix or something like that, and I had a electric mixer, you know, not the big stand mixer, but it was just a handheld mixer. And I went to go get some additional ingredient or whatever, so I flipped off the mixer and let it, you know, sitting on the counter. It had stopped. I turned around to go get something, and I hear zzz. I turn around, and the mixer is running in the number one position, so the very lowest position where the blades were just barely turning. And I was like, I turned that off. I mean, I saw it stopped. It was off, and I turned around. And that was one of the first things that happened, and I remembered thinking, it didn't want to hurt me. You know, it wasn't it just wanted me to know that it had the ability to do that and that it was there. At least that was what I took it from it. Excuse me. So there's, so many things over the years. But finally it came to a point where I was like, you know what? I just thought I could excuse me. I thought I could live like this, and now I'm like, I don't think I can. This is just too much. I think when it kind of would see that you were comfortable somewhat with it, it would there would be more activity. And I never felt threatened, thank God. I never felt like it was there to hurt me or anything, but hold on, let me mute this for a second. I have to cough. I'm sorry about that. So I finally decided I needed to communicate with this and let it know that it needed to move on. So I decided the way I was going to do it through reading about different methods and techniques was I was going to communicate through candles. And the way in which you do that is you light a bunch of candles. So I had this, it was a beautiful silver tray, and I had all of these white candles, and they were pretty thick, they were probably about that big, and they were different heights, and I don't know how many, it was a lot of them. I probably had 15 of them or something on this big square tray. So I set the tray on the coffee table, and I lit all the candles. And I turned off the heat so that there was nothing running. There was no fan, there was no air movement whatsoever. And I just sat there for a minute and watched the candles, and they were all just completely burning straight because there was no movement and no air. So then I kind of out loud described that I'm going to ask a series of yes and no questions, and if the answer is no, do nothing. But if the answer is yes, flicker the candles. So I started by asking things that I knew the answer to. And when I asked questions, is it Monday or whatever the question, the answers was no. It was a Tuesday or something. The flames stayed completely straight. So then I asked a question, and I would wait probably at least a minute after asking a question. So I decided I'm going to ask a question where I know the answer is yes. So I asked the question. I kid you not, the flames began to dance. I mean, like someone had opened a window next to it, or a door, it wasn't just, I can kind of interpret that as a movement. They were dancing. And I said, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. So I said, thank you. And I was quiet for a minute. And they just burned straight up again. And I asked a question that I knew, the answer would require a yes. And again, the flames literally started. And I had sat there, like I said, for minutes ahead of this, and they were just completely straight. And that's what they did. When I explained how to use the flame, it was happening. I thought, oh my gosh. I didn't think that this was possible, like to get that kind of a reaction or a response, but it was happening. So finally I said, it's time to move on. It's time to cross over to the other side. That, there is a whole other existence waiting for you. And, it was like having a whole conversation there. And the thing, I don't know what I was expecting, nothing really, I was getting the yes answers, the candles were blowing and everything. And so finally, after, I don't know how long I did this, 30, 40 minutes, it was just so fascinating, but also incredibly scary. And, after that, I blew out the candles and I was just in amazement. I guess I thought, okay, well, if something clearly heard me and it responded to me, so if it did, I assumed that they would go, and nothing happened after that. Like the activity remained exactly the same, but it was a gradual process where over the course of the next month or two, things happened less and less. And that was a surprise, because I just assumed that if it was going to end, it would just end. No, it didn't. It did it in its own time, and it was like it gradually decreased. So I don't know what that was about. Were there multiple spirits and some of them left, and a lot, because like I said, I still get some activity, nothing like it used to be, but did those ones just never leave? And some did? I don't know. But there was a marked reduction, and
I gotta hop off. Thanks for having me. I'll be in the chat. Tell us another story
Well, I think we're done actually here.
You finished yours?
Yeah.
What? Nah.
We're done.
Well, while you go say your goodbyes to all your people, thanks for having me up, and
Of course.
I hope everybody has a nice night. And I think Noni and Annie Jenny wanted you to show them that coloring book.
Okay. Are you still here, ladies?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
thank you for having me up on your live.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks for listening to me.
And I'll go so they can see it.
Talk so much.
Oh no, I loved it. It was awesome.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon. Okay, well, this is the coloring book. If you were here in the beginning, this is the beautiful coloring book that Miss Southern Belle sent me. Animal Kingdom Color by Numbers. Now, you've heard of paint by numbers, right? So there's all kinds of different things here. And then you see the number super small. But the nice thing is, when you look at the back, it tells you what all those numbers mean. So it didn't come with, markers, which is great because I have these colored pencils in a variety of colors. I have these new pens that I was using today. I have twistables and various things, but here's what the pictures look like. So, trying to steady the camera here. Yeah, so all animals. And there's some more on the back here. Birds and tigers and butterflies. buffalo, panda, ostrich, crab. I mean, there's a lot here. So, but these are the kind of things that you got to take your time with and you got to concentrate. So, probably do one off camera, at some point. Oh, look at that. That's a peacock. I bet that's going to be beautiful, but intricate. So I'll probably kind of get the hang of it and then maybe start one and then come on and do a live of just a little bit of it. But that's the coloring book. So she sent me this. She sent me these pens that I was using tonight, which really worked great. I have the video up, but the other, a bunch of other things, but also a tray table to use that connects to the steering wheel of the car for mukbangs, which is how I started, my channel doing mukbangs. I'm always driving somewhere and having my lunch or something in the car. So I'm excited to try that out. And that was really thoughtful. Everything was so thoughtful to send me that beautiful gift and all of those awesome things. So I appreciate it so much. Anyways, what time is it already? It's 9:50 here. So looks like I've been on for an hour and 45 minutes or so. So I think we'll call it a night. I'm working tomorrow, so this is a good breaking point. But if you haven't subscribed yet, it's not too late. If you have, welcome to the family. I love you for watching. And come back and join me another time and we'll visit and chat and maybe tell some more stories. All of those stories are completely real. I will absolutely stand behind all of those. So I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if I'm long-winded, but it was fun talking with you all. Have a great night.